garage door.
Hey guys, welcome to the channel. To my preloaders, always nice to have you here with me. Welcome back. I appreciate all of you guys, and I'm proud of all of you guys for knowing how important it is to be dedicated to slow speed motorcycle operation, because it really makes you not only a better rider, but a safer rider. For those of you that have been here before, but you're not a preloader, welcome. If you'd like to be a preloader, all you have to do is subscribe and be dedicated to slow speed motorcycle operation. Those are the two prerequisites to being a preloader on this channel. For those of you that don't know what a preloader is or what preload means, just go to the description. There's some definitions in there. There's a lot of good information in the description, so it's a good idea to check that out. All right, for those of you that have never been to this channel, let me just tell you about myself and this channel. My name is Robert. I'm a retired NYPD Highway Patrol motorcycle lieutenant. I did a wonderful 22-year career with the NYPD. 15 of those years were spent with the motorcycle unit. The name of this channel is called Robert Simmons Paying It Forward, and the purpose of this channel is twofold. The first part is me sharing my knowledge, experience, and training that I received from the NYPD Highway Patrol motorcycle unit with you guys, focusing particularly on slow speed motorcycle operation, because that's the part of operating a motorcycle that the least amount of people are proficient in, and it's the most important part of operating a motorcycle, because that part of operating a motorcycle requires 100% of your skill to keep this motorcycle upright, 15 miles per hour or less. At speed, the motorcycle needs very little input from you. It can stay up by itself. Right? So that's part of me paying it forward to you by sharing that knowledge with you. Secondly, I want to make you be the boss of your motorcycle. And all that simply means is being in 100% control of this motorcycle, having the confidence to make right turns, left turns, and U-turns without getting that feeling of uncertainty, without having your feet spread out like this when you're coming to a stop. When you can ride your motorcycle like that, that's when you're the boss of the motorcycle. If not, the motorcycle's kind of the boss right now, but that's what we're here to talk about. And lastly, my way of paying it forward, I hold a practice session in a parking lot on a weekly basis for my preloaders. That's free of charge. And if that's something that you'd like to be a part of, all you have to do is send an email to this email address right up here on the upper right-hand corner of your screen. And in that email, just simply put that you're subscribed to the channel, because you have to be a subscriber to to come to this practice session, all right, put down that you're subscribed, put your name, and put that you'd like to be added to the email notification list, okay? Information about that is in the description as well. I'd also like to remind you guys that this email address is also for you guys to send me videos and pictures of you out there practicing. It's important to me to not only see it, but to share it with other preloaders so that they can see that we as a community are out here practicing so that we could be better, safer motorcycle operators and to enjoy this machine that much more because we're no longer going to be intimidated by it at slow speeds. Okay, so today what I'm going to be talking about, again, I tell you guys all the time, you're going to start hearing things over and over because this is really not that complicated. There's not that many components to it. Throttle, clutch, rear brake, head and eyes. And a proper combination of those things will make you proficient in what you need to do. But today I want to talk about U-turns. So I had a preloader ask me a question. It was a good question. Now they said, if I'm turning my head and my eyes, because remember, you turn your head before you turn the handlebars, and you're not turning slow, because if you turn your head slow, you're going to turn slow. The question was, how do I know if there's a curb, if I'm making a U-turn on a street like this, and if there's a curb, how do I know I'm not going to hit the curb if I'm looking that way? It's a valid question. So as I always say, everything gets easier with practice. The more you practice, the more things become common. Muscle memory, natural feeling. So when you go out there and you practice and you're making U-turns, you know how many feet there are within the parking spaces that you're making the U-turns if you're making the U-turns in a parking lot. So we know that 2 parking spots is about 18 feet. We know that 3 parking spots, 27 feet. Now I usually don't go further than 3 parking spaces. 27 feet is a lot of space to make a U-turn. So if you're always making U-turns there, you kind of know already how much space you need to make a U-turn. And over time, you'll be able to visualize that just by looking at it. You'll know that when you look at a certain space, can I make a U-turn in that space? Because you've done it so much that you can just visualize it. Almost like when you're driving your car, when you first started driving the car and it came to a spot where you had to squeeze between something, and I use the term squeeze loosely, if it seemed like, uh-oh, and you had to slow down so much to get through it. And as you practice and you become more familiar with your car, now you can look at a space and you already know before you get to it that you can fit your car through it. It's kind of the same thing. But if it helps you a little bit to make it a little bit easier, that's what you saw me doing with the wheel. So this is a regular road in the subdivision. So if I wanted to make a U-turn on this subdivision road, I measured it and it's actually 25.5 feet. Okay, so I know that I can make a U-turn in 16 to 18 feet. So I know for a fact I don't have a problem making the U-turn here. So that's one of the things you can do. Take some tape measure, or you can even walk it with your feet and see what the space is. And practice it and practice it and practice it. And then over time, you'll see, I know I can make a U-turn in this amount of space. Now remember, head, eyes, turn, and then turn the handlebars. If you turn your head slow, you're going to turn your handlebars slow. Now, you don't want to make your U-turn too fast either, because again, I know people want to always add some speed to what they're doing, because once you add speed to this, you kind of start saying to the motorcycle, okay, I'm done. You take over a little bit. But we don't want to do that in slow speed motorcycle operation. You're the boss. So that means you have to take 100% control. So what that means is you don't want to go too fast, because the faster you go, the more space you're taking up. Okay? Just like if you don't lean enough, you lose space. However, if you're not leaning a lot, but you're going slow enough, you'll be fine depending on the turn that you're making. The point is, you don't want to put the two together where you're going too fast and you're not leaning enough, because unless it's a very wide turn, you're not going to make it. Okay? So let me look at it this way. So right now I have a car right here and a curb right here. So let me measure the distance between that car and this curb. So I can just look at the distance between this truck and the curb, and I know that I can make a U-turn here because I can visualize it. I kind of know what at least 18 feet looks like, and I know this is at least 18 feet, and I know I can make a U-turn in 18 feet. All right, let's measure it. 19 feet on the dot. So if this is 19 feet on the dot, and I know I can make a U-turn in 16 to 18 feet, I'm confident. Now, let's make a right U-turn as well. It's easier to make the left, right? You know, right's on my tough spot. Now, I don't know if you noticed it, but when I made that U-turn, I think my front wheel was about right here. So plenty of space, and I knew it was plenty of space because I know I can make a U-turn in less than 18 feet. So I also measured away from the truck a little bit when I did the measurement, because obviously I'm not going to put my front wheel right at the truck. I need to leave room for the width of the motorcycle and the fairing and such, and the, you know, the highway pegs. So, but that's just an example of, if you need some reinforcement to tell yourself, can I make this U-turn? First determine the U-turns you can make in the parking lot, then go someplace where you normally would ride, if it's safe, and measure it. If you can't yet do it in your mind, physically measure it. If you don't have a wheel like this, you can use a tape measure, okay? Let's go to a two-way street, one lane in each direction, and measure that, okay? Here we have a two-way street, pretty standard, double yellow line in the middle, broken when you can pass, no traffic coming. "21 feet. 21 feet. So, again, we know that if you can make a U-turn in 20 feet, you clearly can make a U-turn on a two-way street. Now, here's another thing I'll tell you. Because there's no wall here, you don't have to go right from the line. So if you went all the way over to the, if you went over as far as you could go over, now you're at 22 feet. I have 22 and a half, a little more than 22 and a half. Okay, so this is giving you a little bit more confidence in knowing that if you're riding on a road like this and you need to go the other direction and it's safe and there's no traffic coming, all you have to do is slow down, pull all the way to the right side of the road, make sure there's nothing coming obviously in front of you, check your mirrors, look over your shoulder, make sure there's nothing coming behind you, and while you're looking over your shoulder, make sure you look all the way over your shoulder, look where you want to go, turn your head, then turn the handlebars, lean the motorcycle, easy peasy. All right, let's do it. So as I'm approaching here, make sure I'm in first gear. You definitely want to do that. I check my mirrors behind me, nothing's in front of me. I look again, always check twice, over my shoulder. Nice and easy. And that's all there is to it. Okay, so I'm at a different parking lot today. And the reason I'm at a different parking lot is because usually the parking spaces are 9 feet. So obviously 2 of them are 18 feet, 3 of them are 27, you know, so on and so forth. But every now and then you'll run into a parking lot where they're not exactly 9 feet. Sometimes they're 10 feet. I've never seen them less, but let's measure anyway, just to be sure. Nine feet on the dot. Let's keep going, make sure the spots are even. All right, so it's the same here, 18 feet. All right, guys, so that's going to conclude this video. I hope that you got something out of that. I know that we talk about U-turns and right turns and left turns. We talk about these things all the time, and we're going to continue to talk about them. I'm going to continue to make videos. These are update videos because you can never talk about this enough and you can never practice it enough, all right? We don't just want to talk about it. We have to practice it. Okay. All right, guys, if you like this video, please subscribe, like, and share. And if you'd like to be notified of future videos that come out, hit that notification bell, switch it to all. I'd like to take this time to thank all of my preloaders for supporting the channel through donations. It's highly appreciated. All right, I can't thank you guys enough. It's such a great gesture. And as you guys know, I don't take anything for granted. So I want to thank you guys for your comments. I want to thank you guys for your emails. I love all of the positivity because, as you guys know, that's what I'm all about. I'm all about positivity. Negativity is like a virus. You got to keep it out because it will infect everybody around you. Okay? For all of you that would also like to help contribute to the channel through donations, you can send donations via Zelle or Venmo to the email address on the upper right-hand corner of your screen. And if there's anything else you guys would like me to have, you can send it to this address right here. All right, guys, as I always say, spend more time being thankful for the things that you have and less time complaining about the things that you don't. I want to give a shout out to my brothers and sisters in blue. Please be careful out there and know that you're appreciated. Special shout out to the NYPD Highway Patrol Motorcycle Unit, specifically Highway 1 because that's where I worked, and the Highway District Motorcycle School because that's where I learned to ride this motorcycle. But the learning doesn't stop there. As I always tell you guys, this is a perishable skill. You have to continue to practice, all right? Because the more you practice, the more confident you'll be. And a confident rider is always going to be a safer rider. Lastly, I'd also like to give a special shout out to my beautiful wife, Anita. She does a lot of work in the background. She's the one that's coming up with the t-shirt designs for you guys. She's the one that's behind the whole preloader thing. You know, she told me, listen, you have a lot of people that are starting to subscribe. People like to be a part of something. You need to come up with a name for them. She said, how about preloaders? And I said, that is perfect. So she's a absolutely wonderful, wonderful woman in so many ways. I can make a video just about that. All right. But I do want to thank her. All right, guys, take care.